Hello and how are you? Hey friends, welcome to the Shen Show. I am your host, Shenandoah Briscoe, coming to you from right here in St. Charles, Missouri. Hey, you know what? This here is Tuesday, October the 9th, 2018. B-Blog 2419. Got a happy birthday shout out going out to Shenandoah Arnette and Diana Rutt Connors, that is. And a friend anniversary shout out going out to Janelle, Schumer, Chris Richardt. And so, without further ado, here our birthday song for the two of you. Hey, I heard it's your birthday today. So happy birthday, I'ma say. You know, Shenandoah and Diana, there's a brand new year starting for you today. So happy birthday to you today. I said, hey, I heard it's your birthday today. So happy birthday, I'ma say. You know, there's a brand new year starting for you today. So happy birthday to you today. And many more. All right. Hey, and Janelle, Schumer, happy friend anniversary. Janelle, Chris Richardt, Janelle Schumer, Chris Richardt. It's all one name. I'm reckon that there's two people trying to get together there and make a name for themselves. Unless it's a group. It's a rockin' group called Janelle Schumer and Chris Richardt. Anyway, happy friend anniversary to you. Not that I know you that well. Schumer is a church name, so I would think Janelle would be related to John and Nancy, but not going to swear to that. Nope, sure won't, but I do believe it is. Anywho, nanny, let's see, how about some song is? I'm going to sing a song is Black Magic Woman. It's by Santana. Well, song lyrics, Black Magic Woman. Alright, here we go. Fleetwood Mac also done it. It's off the Santana album, I guess. Well, I got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. Yes, I got a black magic woman. Got me so blind I can't see. But she's a black magic woman, and she's trying to make a devil out of me. And don't turn your back on me, baby. Don't turn your back on me, baby. Yes, don't turn your back on me, baby. You're messing around with your tricks. Don't turn your back on me, baby. 'Cause you might just break up my magic stick. You got your spell on me, baby. You got your spell on me, baby. Yes, you got your spell on me, baby. Turn my heart into stone. I need you so bad, magic woman. I can't leave you alone. Yes, I need you so bad. Well, I need you, darling. Yeah, I need you, darling. Yeah, I want to love me. Want you to love me. Whoa, I want you to love me, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh, baby. Yes, I need your love. Yeah, okay. Well, it's not the song I was thinking of. Uh, how about this one? Song lyrics, you put a spell on me. Okay, how about I put a spell on you? I put a spell on you because you're mine. You better stop the things you do. I tell ya, I ain't lying. I ain't lying. You know I can't stand it. You're running around. You know better, daddy. I can't stand it 'cause you putting me down. Oh no. I put a spell on you because you're mine. You know I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you anyhow. And I don't care if you don't want me. I'm yours right now. I put a spell on you because you're mine. You know I can't stand it, you're running around. And you know, baby, that I can't stand it 'cause you put me down. Ooh, I put a spell on you because you're mine, because you're mine, because you're mine. Ooh, yeah. All right. Song lyrics, The Monster Mash. I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. From my monster from the slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, he did the mash. He did the monster mash. He did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. It caught on in a flash. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the monster bedroom in the vampire's feast, where the vampires feast. The ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrodes. They did the mash. They did the monster mash. They did the mash. It was a graveyard smash. They did the mash. It was a monster mash. They did the mash. It caught on in a flash. They did the mash. They did the mash. They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun, and the party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman and Dracula and his son. The sign was rocking, all were digging the sound. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hounds. The Coffin Bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker Five. They played the mash. They played the monster mash. They played the mash. It was a graveyard smash. They played the mash. It caught on in a flash. They played the mash. They played the monster mash. Out from his coffin, Drax's voice came. Rang. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. He opened up his lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist? It's now the mash. It's the monster mash. The monster mash. It's a graveyard smash. It's now the mash. It caught on in a flash. It's now the mash. It's now the monster mash. Now everything's cool and Drax a part of the band. And my monster mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, the mash was meant to. And when you get to my door, tell them Porter sent you. And then you can mash. Then you can monster mash the monster mash and do my graveyard smash. Then you can mash. You'll catch on in a flash. Then you can mash. Then you can monster mash the monster mash. All right, all right, all right. Hey, you know what? Let me check it. Check this out. Check this out. All right, I'm gonna do another one. I got another one to do. Here we go. Oh yeah. Don't forget, this is it. Song lyrics, Woody Swamp. Song lyrics, Woolly Swamp. Again with the Charlie Daniels Band. Hey, I can't help it, I like this song. If you ever go back in Woolly Swamp, you never want to go at night. There's things out there in the middle of them woods that'll make a strong man die from pride. There's things out there that crawl on, and things that fly, and things that creep around on the ground. And they say, oh, the ghost of Lucius Clay, he gets up and he walks around. But I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and I couldn't conceive it. I never would listen to nobody else. No, I couldn't believe it. Just had to find out for myself. There's some things in this world you just can't explain. The old man lived in the woolly swamp and way back in the grueling woods. And he never did a lot of harm in the world, but he never did no good. People didn't think too much of him, and they all thought he acted funny. The old man didn't care about people anyway, and all he cared about was his money. He'd stuff it all down in mason jars and bury it all around, and he'd dig 'em up out of the ground. He'd pour 'em out on the floor of his shack. Wait a minute, but on certain nights in the full moonlight, he'd dig it all up out of the ground. He'd pour it out on the floor of his shack, and he'd run his fingers through it. And old Lucius Clay was a greedy old man, and that's all there was to it. But I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself, and I couldn't conceive it. I never would listen to nobody else. Oh no, I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself. There's just some things in this world you can't explain. The old man lived in a woolly swamp back in the grueling woods. The Creighton boys were white trash, and they lived over on Purvis Creek, and they were real snake and sneaky as a cat. And belligerent, and then when they speak. On one night, the oldest brother said, y'all meet me in the woolly swamp later, and we'll get old Lucius some money, and we'll pitch him to the alligators. They found the old man out in the backyard with a shovel in his hand and 13 rusty mason jars he had dug up out of the sand. Then they all went crazy, and they beat the old man. They picked him up off the ground, and they threw him into the swamp, and they stood there and laughed as the black water sucked him down. Then they turned around and went back to the shack, and then they picked up that money and ran. But they hadn't gone nowhere when they had realized they were running in quicksand. They struggled and they screamed, but they couldn't get away. Then just before they were gone, they could hear the old man laughing in a voice that was as loud as and strong. In a voice that was loud and strong. It's gone. Lost it. Lost my place. There we go. And now that's been 15 years ago. And if you go back in there again, there's a spot in the yard and in the back of the shack where the ground is always wet. And on certain nights in the moon is right, and you're down on the dark footpath, you can hear 3 young men screaming, and you can hear that old man laugh. If you ever go back into this swamp, son, you better not go at night. There's things out there in the middle of the night woods that'll make a strong man die from fright. Now there's things that crawl and things that fly, and then things that creep around on the ground. And they say the ghost of Lucius Clay gets up and he walks around. But I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself. No, I couldn't conceive it. You know, I never would listen to nobody else. No, I couldn't believe it. I just had to find out for myself. Yeah, there's some things in this world you just can't explain. The old man lived in the woolly swamp And way back in the grueling woods. All right, folks. Looks like it's going to be a short one tonight, so we're going to go with the daily bread. All right, we're going to jump right on into it right now. So I'm going to say, well, today's devotion is much more than words. And I'm going to be reading Romans 8:22 through 30. And if you're keeping up with your Bible in a year, which I hope you are, you will be reading Isaiah 32 through 33 and Colossians 1. So Romans 8:22 through 30. Here we go. Okay. We know that the whole creation has been growing as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time. Not only so, but we ourselves who have the first fruits of the Spirit grown inwardly as we wait eagerly for our adaptation to sonship, the redemption of our bodies, the redemption of our bodies. For in this hope we were saved. But hope that is seen is not hope at all. Who hopes for what they already have? But if we hope for what we do not have, we wait for it patiently. In the same way, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. And He who searches our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for God's people in accordance with the will of God. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. For those God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son, that He might be the firstborn among many brothers and sisters. And those He predestined, He also called. Those He called, He also justified. And those He justified, He also glorified. And so there you have it, Romans 8:22 through 30. All right, friends, that's it for me tonight. I'm going to have to say, well, goodbye, my friends. It's a time to go. I said goodbye, my friends. It's time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must go. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. This here has been Shenandoah Briscoe saying hello and how are ya? Thanks for tuning in to the Shin Show, and as always, you know God loves you, and so do I. So be blessed, and come back and see me tomorrow, and because, well, I'm going to be here, and I hope you are too. Goodbye.